Okay, this is a review for test one. What I'm going to do is go through each section that we did in chapters 2 and 3, and I'm going to give you a question from each section um, that will definitely be on the test. So, you definitely want to study those, learn how to do those. There'll be probably about 3 more from each section. So that's a total of 4 questions from each section. There's 7 sections, so 7 times 4. It's about 28 questions on the test, approximately. And I'm giving you 1 from each section. So I'm giving you 7 of the 28 questions. And when I say giving you that, I'm saying there will be a question just like it. So when you go do the test online or on paper, however you're taking it, there's going to be a question just like the one I'm giving you from each section. But of course, the numbers will be different. It won't be exactly the same, but you'll work it the same way. So if you know how to do that question um, from your homework, you should be able to do it on the test also. Now, the rest of the test is very similar to that also. Um, you need to go in and work the homework problems. The problems on the test will be very similar to what you've seen on the homework. But I'm only going to give you 1 from each section that will definitely be on there. The rest you'll need to go ahead and study those sections. I will be giving you from, let's see, there's about 4 sections here, 4 of the 7, where I'm going to be giving you some questions that will not be on the test. So, this review is going to help you save some time because you're going to be able to, look at those questions and say, just ignore them. Don't go over them. Don't review them, and you can focus on the others. Okay, so let's get started. Section 2.4 is the first section. So I'm just going to pull up each one here. And you should be able to review these sections, even though they're past due. You should be able to go in and look at them. And by question number, so the question number I'm giving you, you should be able to pull it up and see the same type of question. You just won't be able to work the problems for a grade. Okay, you'll just be able to review them. But let's go to 2.4 first. Here's 2.4, and I'm going to go through these pretty quickly for each section. So this review won't last too long, but you can go back and watch it again if you need to. All right, section 2.4. From section 2.4, question number 20 will definitely be on the test. So you go down to question 20, and there it is. So, if you need to, if you don't remember how to do this question, go back and review it, review the video for this section. But that's the one I'm giving you for section 2.4. Question 20 will definitely be on there. There will be about 3 other questions from this section that will also be on there, but you'll just need to study the whole section for those. All right, so that's all I'm telling you from 2.4. move us back up here. 2.5 is next. From section 2.5. Section 2.5, question number 1 will definitely be on the test. So something like question number 1 will definitely be on there. Okay. Let's go to (2.6) is next. All right, there's quite a bit from 2.6 that you need to write down because there's several questions here that will not be on the test. You need to make sure you don't waste your time on those. Now, question 3 will be on the test. So do one like question 3, review that. And then there will be about 3 other questions from section 2.6, but here's several questions that will not be on the test. So anything that has to do with absolute value. So questions 6 through 9, so 6, 7, 8, and 9, those will not be on the test. Also 10 through 12, so 10, 11, and 12. So all of those questions are quadratic in form is what that's called. We talked about it in section 2.6, but those questions will not be on the test. So really 6 through 12. That's 7 questions, 6 through 12, that will not be on the test. And then also questions 14 and 15 will not be on the test. Okay, so I'm taking out 9 questions from section 2.6. That only leaves, what, 16 questions that you need to look at. And number 3 will definitely be on the test. All right, 2.7 is next. And there's quite a few from 2.7 that will not be on the test. But first, let's do the ones that will definitely be on the test. And I'm going to give you 2 of them here that I'm going to choose one or the other, not both. But question 3 or 4, and they're very similar. But 3 or 4 will be on the test. Okay. And there will be 3 other questions on the test. Now, what will not be on the test from 2.7 is number 11. Okay, basically anything that you have to draw or graph on the test. I don't like the way the computer does those questions, so I've taken those out. I'll leave them on the homework because they are helpful for learning the concepts. But as far as doing these questions with graphs and drawing on the test, you won't have to do those. So question 11 will not be on the test. Question 14 will not be on the test. And then everything from 15 through 21, I think all of these are absolute values. So 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. Those are all absolute value. Those will not be on the test. And then one more that will not be on the test is 24, because it's another drawing question. So 24 will not be on the test. So I think there's 10 questions there, total of 10 questions that will not be on the test that you can skip as you're reviewing these. Okay, that's 2.7. Next is 3.1. Okay, from 3.1, I won't be telling you anything that won't be on the test, but from 3.1, what will be on the test is either 11 or 12. So these two questions right here, you need to study both of these for sure. One of these will be on the test. Okay. And then there will be about 3 others from 3.1. From 3.2. All right, 3.2, number 4 will be on the test. Okay, so make sure you review that one. And I'm going to give you one that will not be on the test from 3.2. And that is number 16, because it's a graphing question. So 16 will not be on the test. All right. That's 3.2. And then the last section we did was 3.5. From 3.5, one question that will definitely be on the test is number 9. Okay, so there'll be a question like this. And then there are 3 questions that I will not put on the test. So question 2 will not be on the test. That's a drawing or graphing question. So you can leave that one out. Also, question 4 is another graphing question. And question 7. Yeah, it's not a graphing, but it requires you to use the graph. So questions 2, 4, and 7 will not be on the test from 3.5. So that covers everything for the test. I am going to allow you to have 1 page of notes. You will need to show me those notes. You know, on your workspace. I don't think there's a place where you have to show those. But on your workspace, when you're doing your test, I should be able to see what all you're using. So only have a page of notes there. You can't have a textbook. You can't have like a whole notebook of notes. Just one page, and that's all. But other than that, I'll be giving you more information later this week about the test. Probably the test is going to be assigned Thursday, and I'll give you probably until Sunday night to do it. So there will be a test window there of about, let's see, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, about 4 days, where you'll be able to take the test. But I'll be making that announcement when the time comes. But for now, I would definitely be reviewing these sections and going over the questions that I gave to you in this review. Okay. So y'all